So my name is Emma Wassell and I play rugby for Scotland Women. So actually growing up, I never really grew up playing rugby or anything. I was into gymnastics as a child. I did try out quite a lot of sports, netball, gymnastics, dance and all the rest of it, but it wasn't until I was in academy, I think I was 15, my best friend's sister was trying to kind of promote the girls team at Ellen Rugby Club. So she came into the assembly and I was obviously sitting with my best friend. She was like, we need to go along, we need to help out essentially, even if we just went for a couple of sessions to bring up the numbers. And I was like, oh fine, like it'll be a good laugh, let's go along. My dad always played rugby, so I was very much kind of like, oh, my dad played it, so it'd be quite nice to give it a shot. Never thought a huge amount if I would enjoy it, but it was just a bit of fun really. But honestly, since then, I was just completely, I hate saying this, but hooked to it. Just every aspect of it. The team element, the kind of physicality of it, but also, yeah, I loved it all. And I've never really stopped playing since then. I am naturally quite a competitive person and I wanted to compete, so got into that kind of regional setup and really enjoyed that. And it at the end of coming to the end of the academy, and it was deciding when I wanted to go for uni, and I knew I did want to move away from home, but I also knew Edinburgh, there was so much more opportunities for girls and women's clubs, because I was obviously coming up for 17. I moved to Edinburgh, went to Ghillied University, and then I started at Moneyfield Wanderers. And I was 17, but I went straight into the senior setup, which was scary. It was a huge step up, but it was from there then got involved with Scotland under 20s through the coach, and then from under 20s progressed to the senior team. When we got that first win, my first win, which was against Wales in, I don't want to get this date wrong, I think it was 2017, I should definitely know that, because until recently it was probably one of the best moments. You know what, like the biggest, it wasn't, I can't even remember the celebrations and stuff because it was pure relief. I'd been involved quite a few years. We'd trained and had committed to it for so long, but I felt like you never really got the reward. And sometimes with like winning and losing, like they become habits, and it was getting kind of, I suppose it was hard losing, but kind of giving it your all and coming so close sometimes. So getting that first win was just like the biggest relief, but also it kind of made me realise just exactly why I wanted to do it and why I was so passionate about it. My 50th cap, which I got when we went out to Italy to play in the European World Cup qualifiers. So there was 4 teams there, us, Italy, Ireland and Spain. Everyone played everyone once. And then essentially whoever came top qualified outright, whoever came second would go to the final qualification tournament. So on our last game, so we played Italy, we unfortunately lost to them. We played Spain, we beat them. And then our last game against Ireland, it was essentially a play for all. So if we won, we had the opportunity to go to the World Cup, as in we would have came second. Italy had already kind of came first, they'd won their games. Whereas if Ireland won, they would have gone through. So there was everything to play for. It was my 50th cap. We, in very Scottish fashion, won the game in the last minute of the game. So it was the 79th minute we got a try, and that leveled the scores, and then we had to convert it to win, and that was in over 80 minutes. So when that kind of conversion went through, it was just, I've never felt like it. Like I was on the top of the world. It was just one of the hardest games I've played. Like everyone gave it absolutely everything, but I think it was just because we knew what was on the line. And I think we've fallen short so many times, like always, again, very Scottish, being on the wrong side of score lines. Whereas this time it was, it just the more happiest we've ever been. And we knew that we still had the final qualification tournament to go to, but I think this one was so special because we went into that tournament, and I don't think anyone other than us believed we would have done it. We went in as bottom seed. So there was not a huge expectation on us because everyone was like, it would be great. But however, like as a squad, we were fully focused that we were. We've developed a strong core of players, and obviously the competition for spaces and all that in the squad is now becoming so much higher. We've got young people coming through, but we're all very, very invested in Scotland, and kind of, I think being able to qualify for the World Cup together was so special. We've been on some journey in the sense of the difficulties that we've kind of faced to get there. And I mean, the World Cup got postponed, the qualification changed about 3 times, the format changed, it wasn't going to happen just with COVID and all the rest of it. So there were so many times that we thought our chances were kind of blown with it. It was really special. When I first started playing, one of our matches was actually at Aberdeen Grammar. So my second cap, we played England in Aberdeen on the Aberdeen Grammar playing fields, and there must have been like less than maybe like 100, I don't even know if that much, like friends and family there essentially, on a pitch, like just the most, there was no real build up to it. It was very just like going down to play your local. Whereas now we're playing in England against, well, we've obviously played in England, but like most recently in playing obviously at the Dam Health in Edinburgh, like 4,000 people. It's on BBC Scotland, BBC 2, sorry. Newspaper articles, so much online, like it's just such more of a spectacle. So yeah, it's really exciting. I can only see it getting bigger, which is real cool. So that day, and we did lose against England, but that day in like at Dam Health Stadium, like I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. I think we just hadn't, it was nice obviously because there was so much home support, but such good atmosphere. There was obviously stuff going on at Murrayfield, so like kids and all the rest of it were doing stuff. It was just like a proper event rather than just like your parents and your friends and family just coming to support you. It was people coming to watch women's rugby and to watch obviously a good game. So yeah, it is quite an exciting time to be involved. I do always kind of struggle with this because I think when I got into rugby, I didn't watch it a huge amount. I didn't hugely pay that much attention to rugby. I probably watched the odd Scotland game, and as I said, like my dad did play, but I wasn't hugely invested in rugby before that. And I mean, women's rugby, I didn't even really know it existed to the level it did, and that's just purely because of the coverage and everything was so different back then. So I don't think there was necessarily a rugby hero that inspired me, but I think, like I've said, I'm hugely competitive and invested. So like in terms of like Scotland, very invested, passionate, and a lot of it is very much has been, and what's driven me a lot is like family and making them proud. It is for them as much as it is for me. Most things I do want to make it to the top. I want to do the best I can possibly do for myself and for others. So that, I suppose, drives me. now watching rugby, there's obviously so much players and there's so much more females and males to aspire like to be like, but I think in terms of that initial drive and what got me into it was probably more within kind of myself and within my family more than anything. Yeah, no, Mum is, she is my biggest fan. If I'm being totally honest, I still don't think she knows the rules. Like, I don't think she really does know what's going on. I think she sits down and she just watches me. She watches me the whole time, and she just thinks I'm the best in the world, like as all mums do. But no, she loves watching me, and obviously she can't make every game, so when we were playing in Italy, my brother knows what she's like when she's watching, and he had noticed how close we were to the try line and we were kind of building a lot of pressure, and he was like, oh, I'm going to film this to see her reaction. Not thinking I would score the try, but anyway, I did score the try, and she reacted in a way I'm sure most mothers would. But I got the video and popped it on Twitter. I didn't even tell her to put it on Twitter because she does not have social media. She's clueless when it comes to technology. And very quickly I got quite a lot of attention on this video, and I was like, oh, like, I thought it was funny just because it was my mum, but people seemed to quite enjoy it. And then on Monday morning I got a message from someone at work being like, your mum's on BBC Radio 1 with Greg James, and I was like, what? Like, need obviously put the recording on. So I then eventually had to tell Mum that I'd popped the video on Twitter and people were watching it, and that she was also on Radio 1. She was like, what? I can't believe you've done that. I was in my jammies. I think this is something that I've been asking. I'm like, oh, I don't really know what I do, and I think it is probably just consistency. I'm way more fortunate now that I can do rugby much more kind of full time, whereas in the past I was in Aberdeen where there was not any of my teammates. That sometimes I was training by myself, working full time and training in the evenings, and then was probably so many opportunities to be like, I'm not going to go to that, like I really can't bother. But there's just been probably key points of time where sometimes it would be very easy to kind of back out. In Aberdeen, I went to train with the Aberdeenshire boys, and like as a relatively young female trying to kind of progress in the sport, like it was intimidating, but I knew it was the best thing for me. So I went and spoke to the coach and said, like, would I be able to come and train? Obviously not allowed to do contact, but like be able to train with the guys sometimes and just get some coaching, just because I wanted to up myself. And I'm not gonna lie, there were sometimes I really did kind of, I really don't want to go, but I knew it was kind of better for me, and like I wanted to get better. And yeah, times after work you'd finish real late and you knew, like, I could have said to my coach, like, I've just finished work, I'm absolutely knackered, but like I would go to the gym or kind of get what I needed done. So yeah, I think kind of being consistent, and even though they're probably really small moments, that in the grand scheme of things, if I'd missed one or two sessions, it wouldn't have made a big deal. But over kind of how long I've played now, I like, it's almost sometimes doing the tough stuff, which maybe kind of goes unnoticed. I'm obsessed with coffee. That's a bit of a weird one, I know, but I am actually obsessed with coffee. I love going out to get coffee. I love making coffee. My coffee machine is my pride and joy. I don't know if that can count as a hobby, but I think of people that are currently in your head, but there's definitely so many people that I could not think. I do like comedy. I very much would need laughs at this table, so I think I'm actually going to go for Ricky Gervais. Not to everyone's taste, but I find it very funny. There's probably very many other comedians I could have on there. Maybe Billy Connolly, actually. Oh, Ricky Gervais or Billy Connolly. I think sporting wise, Nelson Mandela, and for a wee bit alternatively Andy Murray. I know this now seems very random, but Andy Murray I think would be good. Nelson Mandela, I'd obviously love to hear more about his story. Who else? You know what? Who I find really interesting, but this might not be, but Gabby Logan. I think she obviously has so much sporting stories. I think she'd be great in this situation. Yeah, that's where I'm